The most uncomfortable truth in the NFL right now is that Bo Nix didn't just play well. He didn't just have a nice afternoon. He didn't just benefit from good coaching or friendly circumstances. He absolutely silenced a conversation that a lot of people were still clinging to. And that's why this moment feels bigger than one game. Because when Dan Orlovsky says the Broncos are legit Super Bowl contenders, he's not floating a cute idea. He's reacting to something that has shifted in real time. What people watched wasn't a quarterback surviving the system. It was a quarterback commanding it. And that's terrifying for a league that spent months waiting for the drop-off, waiting for the hesitation, waiting for the moment where Bo Nix would look overwhelmed. Instead, what showed up was calm, decisive, fast, and precise. And that's why the noise stopped. Not quieted, stopped. Because it's one thing to defend a young quarterback with excuses. It's another thing when the tape erases the excuses altogether. The pocket wasn't frantic anymore. The feet weren't scattered. The ball wasn't late. The reads weren't hesitant. The quarterback that showed up didn't look like someone hoping not to mess up. He looked like someone who knew exactly where the answers were and got to them before the defense could even ask the question. That's when narratives die. That's when doubt gets uncomfortable. And that's why this performance didn't just change how people feel about Bo Nix. It changed how people have to talk about the Denver Broncos. This all exploded because of where Denver sits right now and what's suddenly in reach. Heading into Week 16, the Broncos are staring at a scenario where they can wrap up the AFC West, keep themselves in the conversation for the #1 seed, and potentially secure home field advantage in the AFC if a few things break their way. Sean Payton made it very clear that the team isn't preparing for the playoffs yet, that they have 3 goals in order: win the division, get the best seed possible, and then the Super Bowl, and that none of those goals have been accomplished. But the reason that quote landed so hard is because it sounded less like coach speak and more like quiet confidence. The Broncos aren't sneaking into relevance. They're building toward it. And at the center of that shift is Bo Nix, coming off what everyone on that set agreed was his best game as a pro. If you want this kind of breakdown every week as the season tightens and narratives collapse in real time, make sure you subscribe and leave a like, because this is where the NFL actually gets decided. What made this performance so jarring wasn't just production, it was how clean everything looked. Mina Kimes laid it out clearly. Earlier in the season, Bo Nix looked far more comfortable against man coverage than zone. Against zone, there was hesitation, uncertainty, moments where he didn't look fully sure of what he was seeing. That was the lingering concern. Sean Payton attacked that directly. The game plan didn't ask Bo Nix to be something he isn't. It gave him clarity through formations, through trips, through 4x1 looks. Payton consistently created one-on-ones out of zone coverage so that Nix didn't have to sit and scan the entire field. The answers were built into the structure, and Bo rewarded that trust by being incredibly accurate from inside the pocket, throwing down the field in a way we simply hadn't seen consistently before. That's not a fluke. That's growth meeting preparation. Dan Orlovsky put it perfectly when he said Bo went from frantic and hurried to fast and clean. That distinction matters. Fast doesn't mean rushed. Fast means decisive. Clean means controlled. Earlier in the season, there were moments where his feet betrayed his eyes, where doubt crept in, and the pocket sped him up. In this game, the opposite happened. The ball was coming out before routes fully developed. Throws were released before defenders could collapse. Even short completions mattered because they were on time, in rhythm, and kept the offense on schedule. That's how quarterbacks suffocate defenses without needing explosive chaos. A huge piece of this was the no-huddle offense. Denver leaned into it heavily, far more than they had all season, and the effect was obvious. The no-huddle didn't speed Bo Nix up. It calmed him down. Defenses couldn't get exotic. Looks stayed predictable. Reads simplified. It cut the fat off the playbook. And for a young quarterback coming from a college environment where tempo is familiar, That mattered. The offense flowed. The reads were clear. The confidence built, snap by snap. This wasn't accidental. This was Peyton understanding exactly how to unlock his quarterback. And then, there's the part people glossed over earlier in the year. The receivers showed up. Concerns about Denver's pass catchers beyond Courtland Sutton were real. In this game, they vanished. Sutton was dominant, once again reminding everyone that he's one of the league's most overlooked elite receivers. Franklin stepped up and started to look like a legitimate number 2. The ball didn't just go to safe places, it went to trusted places. That changes everything in a quarterback's mind. Trust accelerates timing. Trust kills hesitation. All of this is why Orlovsky's statement about the Broncos being legitimate Super Bowl contenders landed with so much weight. It wasn't hype, it was observation. Because when you combine a quarterback playing with clarity, a coaching staff tailoring the offense perfectly, and a defense that already sets the tone, you get something dangerous. And that danger multiplies if Denver gets to play at home. Mile High is not a friendly environment. Crowd noise, altitude, cold, and a pass rush that feeds off all of it. The Broncos already lead the league in sacks. That's not theoretical. That's reality. If they get home field advantage, that edge compounds. What makes this even more compelling is the timing. While Bo Nix is peaking, the rest of the AFC is sorting itself out. And then you look at the contrast that was drawn in the same conversation with Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence is playing outstanding football right now. Since the bye, the Jaguars are 6-1. Lawrence just accounted for 6 touchdowns in a single game, something no quarterback in franchise history had done. Dan Orlovsky broke down how Liam Cohen and Grant Udinsky have unlocked Lawrence through double motions, layered play action, sequencing, and trust. Lawrence is cutting it loose because he believes in the calls and the receivers are catching the football. The offense is legit. The quarterback is hot. That matters. But here's where the tension lives. Trevor Lawrence is executing a brilliant system and playing at a high level. Bo Nix just demonstrated command over his. That's the difference. One looks dangerous, the other looks inevitable. And that's why the idea of Denver as a Super Bowl contender doesn't feel premature anymore. It feels like the natural conclusion of what the tape is showing. Sean Payton's comment about goals matters here. The first goal isn't just making the playoffs, it's winning the division. That mindset filters through a locker room. It tells players that this isn't a feel-good season. It's a standard. And when your young quarterback responds by playing the cleanest football of his career under that pressure, belief spreads fast. This is how teams transform. Quietly, until they're not quiet anymore. Bo Nix didn't shout. He didn't celebrate narratives. He just erased them. And once that happens, there's no going back. The haters didn't get argued with. They got silenced, and the rest of the league noticed.